Here we go. So I have a totally silly title, using the force with email marketing and things like that. Hi Larry, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Not as good as
So to give you a little background, this is my company, All County Window Cleaning. We're from Vernon, New Jersey. I use email marketing in my business quite a bit. Probably everybody in this room has gotten some type of silly email from me. In my window cleaning business, we send out a whole lot less, though. We send them out probably like 6 to 9 times a year. And that's our office. So what is everybody using for acquiring new work? Direct mail, phone books, Google, pay-per-click, Google search, telephones, outbound calls, Facebook. Saw the trucks in public. What's everybody's primary source of getting business? Kyle, what about you?
mailers from WCR, of course.
That's working for you?
It is.
Larry, where are you getting all your business from?
Most of it is Yellow Pages right now.
Mostly Yellow Pages, okay. So who in the room uses email marketing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. For those of you that didn't raise your hand, how come you're not using email marketing? Anybody? 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 You're not using it, George? How come?
Honestly, everything else is working. Honestly, everything else is working, and I haven't even thought about it. Honestly.
You haven't even thought about it? Okay. I already said that. All right. Email continues to become more and more prevalent. My parents just started really using it, which is kind of weird because they don't have a microwave in their house. But they're finally on the email. It's interesting and frustrating at the same time. I use email marketing in my business because it's really cheap, easy, and automated. It's something we can put in place, sort of set it and forget it, and it kind of works itself out. It's not something we need to put a ton of thought into. We don't really need to have somebody on staff that is completely dedicated just to doing that project. It's pretty easy. And another thing I really love about email marketing is it's not passive. It's very in your face. I like in-your-face marketing more than passive methods. I would describe a passive method as something like the phone book, the newspaper, and I consider them passive really because it's only good if somebody's actually out there looking for window cleaning. Direct mail and email marketing is great because you spur the mind. You spur the idea in their mind that they want to get window cleaning done. In my company, email marketing is becoming our 3rd highest revenue producer, and that actually was the case in 2010. The only thing ahead of that was direct mail and outbound calls. And the ROI is pretty amazing. Literally, it was 1,000%. So what I put into direct mail, to email marketing, I made 1,000 times that back in revenue. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a pretty good ROI in my opinion, at least. So, sticking with the Star Wars theme, if there's any Star Wars nerds in the room like myself, I believe those are called Padawans or something.
Padawan learners.
They're sort of working. They're sort of learning how to use the lightsabers and stuff. We're going to go over the basics first. There's really 3 levels of email marketing, in my opinion. There's the super basic stuff you can do, that you can just put a day or 2 into it and figure out how to do it. And then there's some advanced stuff, and then there's some real ninja stuff you can get into.
Jedi stuff.
Jedi stuff, yeah. Jedi, ninja, like, what are those guys? The Siths, that really, can shoot lightning bolts and stuff. So, with the basics, you have a lot of choices. There's a ton of programs out there now that you can use for email marketing. Some of them are completely free. Others are, about $25 to $30 a month, depending on how many contacts you have. And you don't even really need to use one of these programs. You can just do it from, your actual email address. You can just fire out a text-based email. MailChimp is my preference. I used to use iContact. I used to use Constant Contact as well. MailChimp has a lot of features, so we've really gotten into that, and I recommend that to everybody if you're going to go this way and start to try to get into email marketing. Sticking with the basics, ask permission. Don't just snag people's email addresses and start firing off emails to them. There's a couple different ways you can do that. You can collect their email information on the phone when they're booking appointments. Say, hey, can we toss you on our mailing list? You can toss a button on the side of your website that says join our mailing list, and it'll collect their data and it will put them in the little system. And you'll have that data, and you can fire off an email to them whenever you feel like you need some more work on the schedule. So you have two different ways you can do this. You can fire off a text-based email or an HTML fully embedded email. We do both. Here's an example of a pretty poorly designed HTML email we did, but we just needed to throw something together really quickly. With an HTML email, you can put a lot of stuff into it. You can put coupons, you can make them look like coupons, you can put a lot of text in there, you can put a bunch of different services. We use these probably every other month in our window cleaning business, and something like this, once you get experienced with it, probably takes about an hour or so to put together. It's pretty easy. And this is a text email, also poorly put together. These are really good for people you have in your system that you just want to fire something out to them real quick. You can pull a report on your contacts and say something like, Dear Mr. Smith, Dear Mrs. Smith, we noticed we haven't seen you this year. We would love to get you back on the schedule. If you book an appointment with us this week, we'll offer you 25% off. And of course, you can come up with whatever numbers you want. How often to send emails? Some programs allow the customer at sign up to pick the frequency and opt in. You can ask them yourself. My recommendation is really no more than 6 to 9 times per year. And if you've done service for them already once or twice that year, I would definitely take them off that list and not mail to them that time. There are so many different ways to capture email addresses. We capture them at every possible opportunity. Number one, when we're booking a job or even trying to put together an estimate for a customer, we ask them for their email address because we're going to email them a confirmation. On all invoices and bids that you put out with the customer, we always have a survey link on there that says, take this survey and tell us about the service you had today. And right there, you've captured their email address. You can put a button on really any portion of your website. That's really where we receive the most. People hit our website and the button says something along the lines of, click here to sign up for weekly, to sign up for specials and exclusive deals. And the button is real quick. They go in, they click it, and there's a couple different fields. It has name, email address, the possibility to collect all information, but it's not all necessary, such as phone number and physical address. and how often they want to be emailed. Usually people pick about 6 times a year. When somebody emails you, you can lock their email address from the contact forms on your website. Now, when you capture that email address, make sure you email them right away and say, hey, can we toss you on our regular list of people that we send exclusive specials and deals to? You really want to ask them before you just start emailing them all sorts of specials and stuff like that. Allow them to control their frequency as well. Many programs out there, for the most part, allow them to control their account. There's a little button at the bottom that says, how often would you like to be emailed? Definitely have that hooked up so they're not getting too many, and so they don't unsubscribe from your emails. Build trust with your emails. Make sure that you are putting together emails that are really packed with good information, and you don't overwhelm them with the frequency. Don't always have your hand out for money. With every email you send your customer, don't always say, hey, we have a special going on, hey, we have 25% off this month, hey, book an appointment please. Send them some other stuff. We do some stuff in our window cleaning business. We sometimes send them recipes. We sometimes send our commercial customers white papers on reasons why to hire, a licensed not a licensed, but an insured contractor. Give them little informational tidbits that they could find useful in the future. Happy holidays type of stuff. Maybe you've captured their birthday. Maybe a Christmas type of thing. Whatever you do, don't just always have your hand out for money. Okay, so what we just covered was really just the absolute basics of email. You can get into email marketing and do that stuff pretty easily. And that's the absolute basics. If you're just getting started, I would recommend just trying that stuff. And if it's working for you and you start developing a list of 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 people, you're going to want to get into some more advanced techniques to really maximize the emails and the ROI you're getting from them. Start thinking about the emails that you write. You'll notice in your email box, right here you got the Gmail team. This is just who it came from, and this is the subject line, and this is the first couple words that are in the email. A lot of people, I know myself, scan these words right here before they decide if they're going to open it or not. Have something there that is pretty interesting. Something that's going to cause them to open that email and not just hit spam or delete. You can start to get into A/B split testing. There's so many different things that you can test. All the marketing programs I mentioned at the beginning allow this feature. It's pretty important if you're going to start getting into advanced email marketing that you look at this type of stuff. When you decide to do, say, a email list, email blast to, say, 500 people, try 2 different subject lines. Just say one could be great deals this week, or another one could be savings for you. So the system will basically take your list, divide it in half, give one section of people a different headline, and the other section. It'll give you some reports and to tell you really what is pulling the best and what emails are opening, what emails are getting the most open rates. You can split test the time of day, as well as the first few words that we saw in that other slide between the subject line and the date. Whatever you do, make sure you split test. You really want to make sure that you are deciding on what works best. You don't want to just throw anything out there. All the programs that I mentioned before have Facebook integration. It's just something that's in there right now. It enables you to push this right to your Facebook account or your business page. You may as well do that as well. So people, if they don't open it, will at least get it. It'll be posted to your Facebook page and they can read it from there, if you have one, of course. Most programs as well allow you to separate your email contacts into groups. These are some of the groups we use in All County Window Cleaning. Certainly you don't want to blast the same message out to everybody that's on your email list. We break them down basically into male and female. We break them down into prospective people that sign up for our email list that never, ever, ever bought from us before. So we'll send them a different offer for sure. We also separate them into residential and commercial. We have the most success with our current customers splitting them into male and female, giving them completely different color schemes and completely different titles. Females and males certainly respond to different colors. That's just how it is. It's a proven scientific fact. And we always, always, always do that to make sure that we're getting the maximum results. That's the most important one. You want to make sure that you're doing this each and every time. I can't stress this enough if you decide to start getting into the advanced features of email marketing. Alright, now this is the super advanced stuff. If you decide to take it to the next level, of course you don't need to do this, but it is available to you if you want to take it to the highest possible level and get the best results. It is more time consuming than sending out a simple email blast. It's more work on the back end, but you will definitely get a better ROI and you'll definitely make more money from it. Google Analytics, like Charlie talked about before, is an amazing program. I have this tied into all my websites, and now I tie in our e-blasts to Google Analytics. So I can pull reports directly from there, see who opened, see who bought, see what parts of the country people opened in, see what times of day they opened in. There's a lot of advanced features there that you should be taking advantage of. Social statistics. This is a new feature that's just starting to hit a lot of email programs out there. Basically what it does is it allows you to track what's happening with your emails. Are your emails spreading? Are people forwarding them around? Are they mailing them out to their friends? Are they posting them on Twitter? Are they posting them on Facebook? What are they doing with these emails once they get them? Well, once they get them, it's easy to see if they just deleted them, but you want to know if they're spreading them. You want to see if it's going to MySpace. You want to see if it's going to Facebook. You want to see what's happening, and you could also see once they spread those emails out, what type of comments are happening? What are they saying about these emails on the social networks? The beauty of autoresponders. A lot of the programs, this is from MailChimp, my favorite as I mentioned, allow you to set up autoresponders. One of my favorite ones to do is, we have one hooked up on the side of our site. When somebody signs up, not only does it send them a thank you note saying, hey, thanks for signing up for our email newsletter, please click here to pick your frequency. How often would you like to get emails? What type of emails would you like to get from us? But it also will kick them another one, probably in about 2 weeks, if we see that they haven't purchased, that says, hey, we noticed that you joined our email list about 2 to 3 weeks ago and you haven't purchased. I'd like to offer you a 20% off today on a power washing service. And this is all completely audited. You don't have to do anything. You simply set it up behind the scenes one time and you're good to go. Automation is one of my favorite things to do, and this works very, 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 very well. all these email campaigns and systems, unless you're just doing it through your own email system, give you reports and metrics to watch. Some of my favorites that I always look at are opens, clicks, bounces, unique clicks, unsubscribes, and spam reports. Opens is, of course, how many people opened the email. Clicks, how many people clicked a link within your email. Bounces just didn't arrive. That's an email that just never happened. It's a different term than what Charlie was talking about. A bounce is different in web metrics than in email marketing. Unique clicks is how many people just clicked a link once. That's different from clicks, because with clicks, one person could click a link 3 times. Unsubscribes is pretty self-explanatory, but it's a person that has just had enough and says, I don't want to receive this anymore, which is fine if they don't want to get it. A spam report is somebody that was just completely annoyed that they got your email, and instead of just hitting unsubscribe and taking that time, they actually said, oh my God, you spammed me. And a lot of the programs, if you get enough spam reports, will ban you and make you stop using your service. You don't want that to happen, it's bad. Social share is pretty comparable to, or sort of close to what I talked about before, but a lot of the programs also allow you, when you're completing the email and scheduling the delivery time to go out, it also will enable you to click some check boxes that says, yes, that when this email goes out, I also want to post it to my Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, if anybody's using that still, or my LinkedIn account, and then a couple other ones. So I highly recommend using that. Highly, highly, highly. You want to get your message out everywhere. MailChimp, like I said, my favorite. I'm not getting paid by them or anything, but it's totally free. You'll get 2,000 contacts for free, and they will let you send up to 12,000 sends per month. That's their pricing plan right there, so you can see it's pretty cheap. That's it. Thanks for listening. Does anybody have any kind of questions about email marketing? Shoot, Sam.
Hey, Chris. You mentioned earlier one of the metrics to look at is maybe what time of day and what day to go out. Have you seen anything about that and what day people?
It's tough. It's tough. Charlie had mentioned before Thursday. How'd you come up with that number, Charlie?
HubSpot and eMarketer, and they also did a separate email
Yeah.
through MailChimp's 9 million accounts. And they got a whole thing, and they said that the best time to email is Tuesdays,
Really?
or Thursday morning at 5, or on the weekends.
Thursday morning.
Because we're really
Thursday morning at 5. That's interesting. I do it a little bit different. I've come up with some different numbers just based on studying the statistics, open rates, unsubscribes, spam reports, and things like that. We normally, we get a little crazy with it. If we break it down into a couple different groups. If we have a female that signed up with her work email address, we will email her at around 11 a.m. If we have a dude, a guy, that just has a regular email address, we'll hit him around 7 o'clock at night. And we also use this feature that's in MailChimp, which is called Time Warp. So when I select 7 o'clock on the East Coast, that would whack the people on the West Coast down, what was that, 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
So we time warp it, it's called, so it hits 7 o'clock across the board, so it's 7. So for guys, 7 o'clock. For females with work email addresses, around 11. For guys with work email addresses, usually after lunch. And for just average email addresses like, MikeSmith@gmail.com, we'll just hit them probably around 8 p.m. Definitely during the weekday. Definitely not on a Monday, definitely not on a Friday, but like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. But I continue to play around with it. I look at the open rates, I look at the click-through rates, I look at the unique clicks, I look at the statistics pretty heavily.
MailChimp did release that study that Charlie was talking about, and you can Google that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Hi, Kurt.
Hey, I was just going to ask about, obviously one way you deal with customers becoming trained to ignore is by reducing the frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other strategies you do to deal with the trained to ignore problem?
I'm coming up with better and better subject lines. There's a gentleman named Frank Kern. People may be familiar with him in the audience. He's a pretty famous internet marketing guy, and I use a lot of his subject lines. They're just like bizarre. Like he sent me an email the other day, and the subject line was "holla holla." I'm gonna open that.
Frank Kern.
Frank Kern, yeah. I typically use that on WCR stuff because it's a completely different demographic. With our all county customers, which are 75% female, that is in our database, we will certainly use something like much more toned down, like spring's here, pollen season is over, let's get those window cleanings, save $150 this weekend, stuff like that. Pretty basic things. Jason.
Chris, can you tell us a little bit more about the, you changed the templates to women and to men based on colors, and have you really found that to be effective with choosing different colors?
Oh, absolutely. We've definitely seen a higher click-through rate and a higher conversion rate by splitting them in MailChimp into groups, without a doubt. I thought about it one day and I was like, why are we not doing this? Why are we just sending this brown email to females?
I would never thought of it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Chris, do you spend a lot of time manually separating, like men, women, East Coast, West Coast, that sort of thing?
Well, with our window cleaning business, our database is about 75% female, and I have somebody in the office that exports all the email addresses we collect on a database, from a database into an Excel spreadsheet once a month, like just on a slow day, typically on a rainy day when we're not making outbound calls, and she will import them into MailChimp, the ones that have agreed to be on our mailing list.
The other question is HTML versus plain text. Is there a reason to use one over the other?
If I'm gonna blast out a lot of services that we have to offer, like in the spring, like, hey, check it out, we have 20 windows to be cleaned for $199, and we're also doing power washing, and we have this new service called roof cleaning. I'm gonna use an HTML email for sure, just so they can really visually see what's going on. I will use typically the plain text emails when it's something like, hey, you know what, we haven't seen you for a while. Get on the schedule today or this week and we'll give you 25% off your last service price. I'm just making numbers up, of course, but it's something along those lines. Anybody else? Jason.
I just wanted to comment on the subject line, and you had said you use those creative subject lines that might be helpful for other people. I emailed to about 500 or 600 local businesses, and they're all business owners, and it tapped into people love the negatives that I put in there and tested this out, and I put in there, did you hear what happened from Keith from LaRue Pest Management? Question mark. That got the biggest open rate because everyone thought it was like, what, he got hurt? Is he dead?
Yeah.
So it's to use that, maybe in window cleaning, like, did you hear that 32 people broke their hips on a ladder?
Yeah.
Then use that. We don't want that to happen. You can care about you, but negative subject line work.
Yes, stuff like that's absolutely tremendous.
They love bad news.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? No. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to take 3 minutes to plug a project I have. I swear to God it'll only be 3 minutes. Do we have any WCRA members in the audience?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there's 40 of us in here. 25% of us are WCRA members. That's pretty good. I'm not sure if the rest of you guys in here are familiar with the WCRA, but I promise I'm only going to take 3 minutes to plug it, and it's going to be super non-salesy. I have been a member of all the window cleaning associations over the past 10 years that I have been in business, and for the most part, there's really nothing wrong with them. You know, they do their thing. The IWCA is very important. They play a great aspect for safety and things like that. But I realized there was nothing out there designed to help window cleaners and pressure cleaners and roof cleaners grow their businesses. So I wanted to come up with something that would enable people to take their businesses to the next level. Something really designed for entrepreneurs that happen to be in the window cleaning business. So I came up with the WCRA, and we launched on December 1st in 2010, and we've been growing pretty rapidly. We've been adding one member per day for the most part since that day. We're growing very quickly. Let me just show you, as a WCRA member, what you get. Plug time, ta-da! What is the WCRA? The WCRA is the Window Cleaning Resource Association, and when you join the WCRA, you happen to get a huge list of benefits, and here's what they are. You get huge price breaks on every single order. You get moved into a different buying tier in our store, and everything you buy is significantly cheaper than what the general public would see when they log in. So you get great price breaks. And you get unlimited marketing materials. For the most part, other than email marketing, I built my business on a direct mail. So what I did is I took my 20 some odd direct mail pieces and I put them up in the store, and I gave them all free to WCRA members. I only put ones in there that have generated over $100,000 in a 10-week period. So these really all kind of kick butt. They're pretty good. They come down as PSD files, and you can edit them and use them for your business, whether you have a roof cleaning, pressure cleaning, or really any business that's cleaning related. You get unlimited forms and documents from my window cleaning business, stuff that's taken me years to create, and they all are free for you guys that are members. We provide you with a safety manual. It gives you not only safety tips and topics, it's printed of course, it gives you 12 safety meetings. So within your company, you can pull these tear-outs out and once a month have a safety meeting and have everybody sign in. It's important that you have a safety meeting, of course. And we have monthly webinars from some pretty top-notch people. We had Charlie last month. Everybody loved it. We have Jason next month after that, and we've had 2 so far from the eMyth Corporation. Those webinars to attend typically cost $169 per person, but as a member you are allowed to attend for free.
Plus Jean C. Wright.
Jean C. Wright, absolutely amazing. She charges $350 an hour to speak to, but as a WCRA member you get her. She's totally amazing, seriously. She saved me $40,000 last year on a payroll mistake. We have the world's most advanced private discussion forum, free from the prying eyes of the Google search engine. And I put this in, and I was going to give some sort of free gift for joining today, but I couldn't think of anything, so there is no free gift. Supper. Maybe I'll give out hugs or something. Knowledge.
Maybe Larry can give hugs.
Ta-da!